anybody that is wondering, I do kind of sit and listen to Bound and kind of jump and bounce around in my chair because I absolutely love that. I absolutely love that music. And I actually just caught that performance in a rerun of that episode of Enterprise was it last week, I think? Because the Enterprise channel is back on Pluto. God knows how long it's going to be there for, but it is there. So anybody that wants a fix of Enterprise 24/7 that doesn't own the DVDs or just wants to fall asleep to it like I do on occasion, Pluto, Star Trek Enterprise, an entire channel for Enterprise. So as y'all know, I got to do my little yippee yips, and then we are going to bring on my very special guest, Rico Anderson. He is waiting in what I'm calling my green room because it just sounds good. So what have I missed? First of all, thank you guys all for being so understanding while I had a little family stuff to work out last week. All is well, but last Monday just would not have been good for me to be doing the show. So we're doing it this week, though, and I'm really excited. And thank you to Rico for being so understanding. So what has been going on this week? Well, or last week. Let's cover a couple of weeks. Connor Chenier had a birthday on the 19th. I didn't realize J.G. Hertzler's birthday was the 18th. Bill Shatner, I didn't realize Bill was close to Connor and J.G., but Bill Shatner, the big 9'5". Best wishes. Like one of his latest Twitter posts said, he's 95 and he's still smoking. And he just recovered from a major shoulder injury. He had a fall while he was riding. And trust me, I have been there. So, and I mean, I was a teenager and I bruised some ribs. And trust me, falling off a horse at any age is not fun, but I can't imagine falling off a horse at 94. My goodness. So all of that is fantastic. That Bill is in recovery. He was able to celebrate his birthday. The other thing, it's been a really tough week. Losing people wise. First, it was Chuck Norris, who one of my friends, Melinda, lost Phil Paley, who played Shaka. Chuck was his sensei. He appeared with Chuck Norris on the Johnny Carson show, which I believe led to him getting the part of Shaka in Land of the Lost. So we lost Chuck Norris. We lost Nicholas Brendan. I know I say this not knowing all the details, but knowing that he has done things in his past that are not good. I'm not going to get into them. I will just say that I've met him a couple of times. He was actually one of my favorite convention interactions because the rooms got screwed up. It was him and his twin brother, and the rooms got screwed up. So Nicholas and his brother David, me and a couple other Buffy fans just ended up hanging out, talking to them in the bar. And it was just a great exchange because it was comfortable. It was a conversation. It wasn't a panel. It was a conversation with just an amazing close group of people. David is fantastic. Nicholas got him his job and kind of got him into the stunt work that he was doing based on the fact that the filming of Buffy at one point, Xander needed a double. And he's like, well, guess what? No camera tricks involved. I've got a twin brother. And that kind of started his brother on that road. And I can talk about Buffy because Buffy is Star Trek related because Dominic Keating was in an episode of Buffy. I'm sure there's Dominic. Of course, I'm going to go to the Dominic first, but Armin Shimmerman was the principal of the high school senior year, I believe, if I remember my seasons correctly. It's been a while since I've watched them in order. Their senior year, Armin Shimmerman was the principal of high school, and I'm sure there's other Star Trek references, but Buffy definitely has that 1 degree of separation from Trek. So we can talk about Nicholas, but like I said, I know. In the later years, there were problems, there were issues, and I'm not speaking to any of those. I just know that my interactions with him were good, and now he is at peace, hopefully. So, and then today was a big kick in my childhood because we lost Valerie Perrine to Parkinson's disease. And for those of you that do not know, Valerie Perrine played Miss Tessmacher. Rico and I were just talking about this back before the show started. Miss Tessmacher in Superman 1 and 2. And she and her character made such an impression that they continued the character of Eve Tessmacher, which if Lasso was here, he would confirm whether or not she was in the comic books, but I do not think that there was an Eve Tessmacher. Hi, Dave. Glad to see you. But Miss Tessmacher, I don't think there was a Miss Tessmacher prior to her coming into the movies. And hi, Lasso. All right, Lasso. Then I am so glad you're here, Miss Tessmacher. Miss Tessmacher was created for the movies, correct? She was not in the Superman comics prior to her appearance in Superman 1, but she had some great lines like, "Why can't I get it on with the good guys?" And when I was what was it, Alexa? When I was 11 years old, when I was 7 years old, my father said to me, and she looks at him and she goes, "Get out." She was amazing. She was absolutely amazing. She was also in ER. Those were like the only two things I've ever seen her in, but I recognized her in ER right away and I got very excited. So we lost Valerie, and Rico and I were talking, and I figure the first thing she's going to hear when she gets to the pearly gates is Jean yelling, "Miss Tessmacher," just to kind of welcome her home. Oh, see, isn't that cool? She's been in the comics since, but obviously her portrayal of that character got her a place in the Superman comic books, because you have to figure that they don't just let anybody, from a movie into a comic book. So I think that that's amazing. Thank you for confirming that for me, Lasso. You're the best. So speaking of DC, because we were speaking of DC, if anybody watches Tracker, which I don't know if any of you do, but there was a fun little, and I'm sure they did this on purpose, there was a fun little DC reunion. It wasn't mentioned. There was no nudge, nudge, wink, wink, but Tracker was on Sunday. It's a great show. I highly recommend it. The lead character is played by Justin Hartley, who, for those of you that don't know, played Oliver Queen in Smallville. So we have Oliver Queen always in it. Yesterday's episode, Erica Durance, Lois Lane from Smallville. And I do not know the actor's name. I bet you Lasso does. Diggler from Arrow. Go. Somebody give me the actor's name. But the three of them were in this together. And I thought, oh, what a sweet little reunion. And I expected something. Nothing. They just kind of, they were there, they acted, and it was just an Easter egg for us, but no little nudges during the show. The next thing we're going to talk about, and I am inviting my guest to come out and talk with me about it, is because he's actually watched it all. So we're going to kick off Rico's interview talking about Starfleet Academy.
Hey. What's up, Stephanie?
Rico. Not much. What's up with you?
Oh, just navigating life. I'm here.
Yes, exactly. David Ramsey played Diggle. Oh, is it Diggle? I thought it was an art. Thank you, Lasso. David Ramsey played Diggle in the Arrowverse on the CW.
Rumored to have been, without it ever really being mentioned, Jon Stewart, Green Lantern.
Oh, right.
He was never, because he was John Diggle, and I can't remember why they never just made him, a variant of
a Lantern.
Yeah, but they did hint at it toward the end.
They did. I remember that, but it was the end of the Flash. It wasn't. Lasso will know this too. Lasso says hi, Rico. But no, I remember this because I didn't watch. The only times I ever watched Arrow was when they did crossovers, and they didn't start hinting at the Green Lantern stuff until Flash, because he kept showing up on Flash, and there was rumors, I think, that he was going to get his own show, and then the whole thing just kind of went.
Well, I know the fans were kind of lobbying in that direction, they were.
Yep.
Because when there were so many additional shows happening with Legends of Tomorrow and all that, people were starting to wonder, well, is Diggle going to get his, and is there going to be a ring, and where are we going with this? What are we doing with that? So
it was a big old tease, and then they never finished it. Yep. I liked DC Legends of Tomorrow a lot. I thought it was fun.
I thought they nailed the whole CW DC universe. I loved it.
I hate Supergirl. I did not like Supergirl.
No? Okay. All
Not
right.
like Supergirl. And it had nothing. I mean, first of all, let me put it to you this way. I was so excited because they made a big deal of saying this is going to be like the Richard Donner vision of Superman. It
Okay.
all was supposed to, and there were even little, like if you were paying attention, there were little Easter egg nods to the original Superman movie. There was even a nod to Superman 3, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah. You're gonna go, you
But
gotta go. So
yeah,
yeah.
but the writing got so bad because they had a lot of points to make.
Uh-huh.
And this is what, and I don't know, I think you and I might have talked about this when we were at STLV.
Uh-huh.
If you want to make and this is going to actually lead me into something, we may never get to Starfleet Academy, but this is going to lead me into something because of your work with Seth MacFarlane. Seth has the perfect touch to make points that he wants to make. The whole storyline, the one that you were a part of with the Mocklin and the single sex and the sex change on the baby, was beautifully written. And it was a story, and you were emotionally invested because of the way it was written.
Yeah.
And you cared about these characters, and he wasn't bashing you over the head. He just wrote it so it was a very organic storyline. These are the Mocklins. They are a single sex species. And then it just took off from there. And it was so well written. Supergirl never got that hint about if you have a point to make, if you have a statement to make, do not bludgeon people over the head with it and make it sound like you're trying to make a point. So nothing felt organic. I just felt like the points, LGBTQ rights, not building a wall, all of it. I am all for that. I am not for the way Supergirl pushed it at you, as opposed to just letting it be part of the story.
Yeah. I know that you have like some shows that were definitely more subtle when it came to putting messages out there. And yeah, I mean there are definite, I mean, even in Trek, you know, they
yeah,
people have complained about it being too much and stuff like that. I'm in the middle with that because I feel like in many ways it is important to really get it out there, and sometimes you do have to bludgeon people over the head with levels of information that has throughout history been so normalized. And I think I don't think there's anything wrong with that time being really put towards um making the point and making the point strong and hard, and then of course moving on to other things. And you know,
but
so
yeah, but there I just feel like I agree with you. There's a lot that has to be said, and like I said, Seth MacFarlane does a great job with it because he weaves it so well into the story that you're kind of, it's almost like you're absorbing it by osmosis more than just having it like spoon fed to you. And that's, you know, and that's what I like. But I think the one thing that really, really, really got me to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm so over Supergirl is, I don't know if you watched all of it, but there was an episode where her sister's fiance at the time was having an argument with her father, and her sister's fiance was a Latina, and the father always had a problem with her being gay, and the father walked out of the engagement party, and they're having this argument, and it came down to, well, and at one point I remember her father saying, our president's trying to put up a wall. At the time, Trump was in office, and yes, Trump was trying to put up a wall. In the show, it was Linda Carter, and she was not trying to put up a wall. So they literally, like, completely broke the fourth wall. I don't know what you would call it, but they lost track in that one line of the fact that they're not reality, and Linda Carter was not doing what they said. And that's when I'm like, no, I'm done.
I remember. Yeah, I kind of remember that. I, you know, honestly, I didn't see all of it. So, but I remember seeing when Linda Carter came on the scene. I'm trying to remember that storyline though.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just like that wasn't. They're like our president. It's like the president's trying to put up a wall. No, the president in the real world's trying to put up a wall, not the president on Supergirl. And that's where I was just like, that's where I can't do this anymore. You know, I get it.
That's when you stepped off.
That's when I stepped off. Gotham, I thought Gotham was fantastic.
Gotham, they nailed it. I thought I was so on board with this prequel of Batman Begins before Batman Begins. I mean,
yes,
even who they got for Catwoman being this freaking spitting image of like Michelle Pfeiffer.
Mm-hmm.
Her Catwoman. I was on board for it. I was like, this is dope as
Yeah.
fuck, man. This was like,
Yeah, and I loved the Penguin's relationship with the Riddler. I
yeah,
thought that, and I
no,
actually I worked a couple times with Robin Lord Taylor at two different conventions that
okay,
used to be in New Jersey, and I love Robin. He is so much fun to talk to,
yeah,
and I loved being able to tell him the chemistry between him
yeah.
and the actor that played. That there was just such great chemistry, and it just worked so well with the stories that they did.
It works so well. I mean, the brother who played, young Bruce, um,
Hmm.
who the dude who played Alfred. I mean, it just all wove
Oh,
together.
Sean Pertwee.
Archery,
Sean,
yes,
don't get me. Did you know his father was a Doctor Who?
yeah, yeah. I'm waiting for him to basically play his father. In an
Yeah, it
episode
was.
where the two
Yeah,
doctors meet. You know what I mean? When they're doing one of those.
yep.
I'm,
And
I'm
I
like,
had
what are y'all doing, Doctor Who? Let's go.
I met Sean too. I have a picture with him somewhere. I love Sean, but I actually realized that there's a parallel between his version of Alfred and his father's doctor. They were both very prim, proper Englishmen in their way. As Alfred and as the doctor, he was very. But man, when they had to do it, could they kick ass? And I told Sean that. I said, you and your dad, you were both very prim and proper English gentlemen in your roles, and
Yeah.
but then there was that other side of you because both doctors could kick because his doctor could kick ass when he needed to.
Oh yeah, no, no, no. His doctor was
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, I would love to see him portray.
That would be great. Yeah, yeah, and it's not like it hasn't been done because they got that really fantastic actor to play
First,
David something to it. Yeah, then the guy that they get to play William Hartnell's like spot on.
spot, Jesus. I mean, spot the hell on. I mean, seriously.
Yep,
And
yep.
they've like you said, they've been doing it, so they could easily bring him in, and because they're always still doing the timey wimey thing with, oh, in
Yes.
this doctor, and you were my fourth. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, because in the original full run of the series, I think there was one with three doctors, then there was one with five doctors
yep,
that Tom Baker was in for like a half a second.
yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
the and the original, the first one, he I think it was one of the crossovers where he was up there in age, so he couldn't really, get down and
yeah. They just had him kind of show up on the screen.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, just pop up and be like, "You ninnies, you guys, quit
yeah,
arguing. Come on, work
yes,
it out. We
yes,
gotta,
yeah.
we,
Because he
yeah,
left. He left the show because of health reasons.
yeah,
When he stepped down, it was because he wasn't
yeah."
able to
And
continue.
yeah, and
So
it might have been like even his last like on screen appearance too, because
might
I
have
think
been.
he was getting up there in terms of
Yeah,
health not doing so well.
right.
But
But
yeah,
I think we need to wind this around to Starfleet Academy.
let's talk.
'Cause yeah, let's talk. But as most of you have probably heard, it's no longer breaking news. I feel like every time I see it, somebody's like breaking news. I'm like, the cat's out of the bag.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah,
getting one more season. It's
yeah.
getting one more season. Paramount canceled it.
Mhm.
Um, there are people that think that it has to do with the merger. There's some people that think it has to do with the fans because there are too many people complaining about it. Or maybe it's just because Paramount. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
but I heard the streaming numbers weren't great.
You know, who honestly, who
Who
really?
knows?
I mean, well, I mean, they know, but I just feel
Right.
like it could be a combination of all of it. I mean, but here's the thing: I feel like it's just my own personal view. I feel like the fan base is always going to be there no matter what, even if it's different. You get people on here who say, "Oh, this wasn't made for me," da 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 da, but it's still like, but dude, it's still it's still Star Trek, and your curiosity is going to make you watch. Your curiosity is going to be the thing that's going to make you tune in to see what's next, to see where the Easter eggs are coming in, to see what the storyline is going to be about, to see if there's going to be similarities to other storylines. And I'm not saying there are people who haven't stepped off and not watched it, but I feel like the numbers in terms of who, um, I guess in general, the numbers are higher than what people want to make it out to be. Like I feel like some of the toxic fans are really just like feeling like there's a major victory here in the cancellation, and it's
Yeah.
because nobody watched it and da da da. And I'm just like, nah, I believe that their numbers were fairly decent. I just feel like maybe the direction just wasn't working for a lot of people. I could be wrong, but I just feel
I
like
mean,
it wasn't as much as
yeah,
the fans want to make it out to be.
right. I mean, this last episode was great. I thought it was really well done. I thought not having his mother immediately jump on the Chancellor's bandwagon, and the whole trial thing was just really well done. The whole 20 bazillion ships coming in out of warp, that was kind of predictable, but it's still cool to watch.
And we've seen it before, and it's always great to be like, hey, all right, cool.
Hey, Starfleet's here, haha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was really looking forward to at least 4 seasons to see their journey through, like, basically freshman year through graduation. Right. So it's sad that we're not going to get to see that.
Yeah.
I had also said on another show, it would have been nice, as we watch them go through their 4 years, then they can introduce other characters coming in as freshmen, and there were there's always going to be these kinds of opportunities. But and somebody was saying something, oh, there's too many characters to really focus on. I liked that a lot of the first shows focused on one person, because usually when you get an ensemble cast on any level from anywhere, you don't get the backstories the way we got backstories here.
Well, you got to get.
And I liked it.
Yeah.
Right. I liked it, but I'm just saying in general, like, ensemble casts don't get these opportunities the way that this show gave you the opportunity to kind of get to know each one in their own episode.
Well, it's tricky because also you only had 10 episodes. So
yeah, that would
Yeah. So with past shows, with 20, you get like up to
22 episodes,
22, 20, but yeah. So you have enough time to be like, all right, like with Next Gen. All right, so now we're about to show you what Data is all about, or let's have a war story. Let's talk about, hey, this Klingon who's all of a sudden part of Starfleet on the bridge of the Enterprise. Let's see what his backstory. How did that go down? You know what I mean? It's like, what's going on with the Klingons now? Because that was like the introduction to the 24th century with the Next Generation, and so now we're learning about who's Picard, what's Riker talking about, who's this woman, Deanna? So it's just like we had opportunity to really tap into who they were. And that's always my worry with these 10 episode type story, or 10 episode seasons. Yeah. You really got to cram a lot into a very small jar, per se, because you don't have a lot of time to really. I mean, it can be done, but it's just, you got 10 episodes. So what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's hard to shoot. It's hard to it's hard to shoehorn the stuff in. Right. I love Beta Z, so that's what I'm disappointed about. I love Beta Z's. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because it would have been nice. It would have been nice to go on this journey. I almost feel like, and in a way, I feel like I would rather have it just be done now than one more season and then lose it. I don't know. Like I could accept it not coming back.
You know what's interesting? Well, I always felt like that last episode was actually wrapped up in a really nice way, whereas it was almost like if they never even made a second season, it pretty much
satisfied.
It pretty much was like the end. I mean, in a lot of ways, if they never made another one, it would have seemed complete, is what I'm saying.
More of a mini series than a series, but I mean. Yeah. No, like I said, I mean, I like this last episode, and that's the other thing. People are talking about, oh, well, it didn't get on its feet until the whatever, and that's another problem with having these 10 episode seasons, because a lot of shows take time to get on their feet and find their footing, and 10 episodes isn't just enough. But just so we don't lose this, Lasso said I Love Lucy did 30 plus episodes every season. The godmother of Star Trek. And see, Lasso, look at that. That was even like Star Trek related. So good for you.
There you go. I wonder how many. I think there were a lot more episodes back then. Yeah, during that.
Hogan's. I'm trying to think. Like Hogan's Heroes, I think has like probably close to 30 episodes too. I'm a huge Hogan's Heroes fan. I've been watching it a lot. So like when I'm flipping through to look at like the seasons, I'm like, wait, this season isn't over yet, and it's like 20, 21, 22, 23.
You know, there's a Hogan's Heroes station on
yes,
Pluto.
on Pluto.
Yep, you can get Hogan's Hero on 24/7.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just surprised that my dog doesn't react more since his name's LeBeau. I'm just surprised that my dog doesn't react more every time they say the name on screen.
Right, you're right. It's like anybody who has an Alexa, who's a Star Trek fan, who has it to computer. It's just like, well, how is it not? It's it's the same.
There was one. I was falling asleep to Enterprise once, and Archer was trying. I think it was the one where he was trying to write the foreword to his father's autobiography or his father's biography, and so he's recording it, and he keeps going, computer pause, computer stop, and the Alexa in my bedroom kept pausing the TV.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, oh, will you stop pausing the TV because he told you to? I'm like, I know he's a captain, but stop it. Yeah, it was just so funny because he's like, computer pause, and all of a sudden my TV paused. I'm like,
it's the worst with Next Generation because they really dig deep. And I think there was an episode when Geordi was like trying to figure something out, and he's like going back and forth with the computer, and my Alexa was just like going bonkers because so
that's just the one in my bedroom. The one downstairs is Echo, so at least that way, if I'm watching TV downstairs, I don't get the same thing. But yeah, every now and then it'll go off in my room if somebody on the TV says Echo or says computer. Yeah, that's pretty funny. But
what are you gonna do? You gotta have it. You gotta have it programmed.
Exactly. If you have Alexas, you have to, especially if you have multiple ones, at least one of them has to answer to the wake word computer.
It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing if it's not? What are you doing?
Mine doesn't. Wait, let me see if that'll do it. Alexa, red alert.
Red alert. All hands at battle stations.
There you go.
Yeah. Alexa, stop. But yeah, stuff like that is fun too.
Hey, Alexa knows, or computer knows.
Yes.
Looking at my computer. See, my computer just went, huh?
Yeah, exactly. And then you think it's done, and then like 5 minutes later you realize it's still listening to you.
Right. Oh.
And then it like answers things, and you're like, I wasn't talking to you.
They're all listening. I want to say something about Starfleet Academy. I always felt,
of course.
Yeah, I always felt like, and this is with respect to what they were trying to do with this. I always wanted, in the back of my mind, I wanted more of a 24th century Starfleet Academy. And I would have even really had been interested in a TOS, Starfleet Academy. But what I was hoping was, because I remember when Marvel was doing Star Trek comics, and they did a Starfleet Academy comic, which centered on Nog going to Starfleet Academy. So it was like an unofficial sequel to
DS9.
DS9 with Nog going to the academy and doing what he has to do to to go through it. And it was a great series. Like, if anybody has not read the Starfleet Academy, Star Trek Starfleet Academy comic book with Nog, rest in peace, Aaron Eisenberg. It's great. It's so cool because it's just well written. I mean, they tap into the whole, hey, welcome to Starfleet Academy. You got your crew of cadets,
right?
Of all different, like it was just great. I mean, they tapped. I mean, Christopher Pike was in it, and they explained why and how he's still even alive in the 24th.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was great. I mean, and I in the back of my mind, I always wish that if they weren't going to go the route of, I mean, obviously they couldn't do it with Aaron, but if we were going to go the route of Starfleet Academy, 24th century would have been great. So
yeah, I honestly thought that that's where it was going. Like, I had hoped. I didn't realize that it was until I heard that Tilly was going to be in it. That's the other thing. I thought that this was supposed to be something specifically for Mary Weissman to continue Tilly, and she was only in one lousy episode, and that wasn't even one of my favorite. I mean, I love her, and I love Tilly, but that episode just didn't really do it for me. I don't know. There's something about it.
It was interesting. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was great to see her, but yeah.
Right. So Lasso, my friend, besides eBay and Amazon, if somebody wanted to find back issues of a Marvel Star Trek comic, is there someplace specific that they could look? You have to understand, Magic Lasso is my comic. He's my comic book guide. He's my comic guru. Lasso is he's a Wonder Woman fan. I'm the Superman fan. Together, we're DC, you know. But
you guys are more DC than Marvel, or?
I am. I mean, he does both. He's bi-curious. He does Marvel and DC.
Copy.
But yeah. But no, I'm more DC. I grew up with Superman. I mean, there wasn't. I mean, this old live action Spider-Man. Oh, just your local comic book shops that has back issues.
Yeah, I was just
Thank
looking
you, Lasso.
Yeah.
My local comic book shop closed. I don't know where to go now.
Okay. I had two growing up, so
yeah, I didn't do. I mean, I had a smattering. Like, I was a girl in the 70s. I didn't do a lot of comic booking. I would have, but I didn't buy my own stuff. So, but I just grew up. I grew up watching all the DC, because DC was a lot heavier animated with Superman, with like the Super Friends, and then those little 15-minute cartoons. You know, yes, there was the original Spider-Man. You know, Spider-Man. But outside of that,
Spider-Man.
yeah, outside of that, you know, I mean, I grew up mostly. Oh my God.
Yeah. I had to have it when I found out that it was available.
That's amazing.
This was the Spider-Man. This
was. Yeah.
Yeah. Had to have it.
Oh, our first question of the evening. What comic book titles did you collect, or do you collect?
Everything. Oh my God! So like your friend, I was all over the place with it. I was Marvel and DC, but I was very picky about certain ones.
Yeah.
X-Men was big with me. Avengers, Fantastic Four, Hulk sometimes, not as much. I was a huge Teen Titans fan. I loved Teen Titans. I loved Batman to a point, but I became fans of certain comics in many ways because of the artists. Also, John Byrne and George Perez to me could do no wrong on paper. I mean, they were just writing gods to me, and of course Neil Adams and even further in the future like Jim Lee. I mean, there's so many, but those ones really stood out, and I was a huge Golden Age comic fan, so I loved like a lot of the earlier Avengers comics and Fantastic Four, and of course I couldn't afford the actual issues, but Marvel was very smart to like reprint a lot of them in like maxi books, like Marvel Fantasy, and I think there was Marvel Collector's Item, and it would be like, here's a Fantastic Four story. Now here's a Daredevil story. Here's a Doctor Strange story. Now here's a Hulk story. But this is like, from way back in the 60s and 70s, those issues. And so
they did like the trade paperbacks where they put it all under one cover.
Before it was really a paperback. It was just like
right.
a super comic, like a super issue.
Right. Okay, so Ryan wants you to know he just completed the entire volume 1 of Justice League of America.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
He's that, yeah.
How many episodes? But issues with that. That's a lot of issues, man.
All right. Well, Lasso will answer that, I'm sure, how many issues that is. He also met George Perez.
Oh, never met him.
I've never told you this story. I didn't realize what a comic book guy you were. Everybody else has heard this story. You can go grab a cup of coffee or a cup of water or something. There was one comic book that I had when I was a kid. It was a Flash comic book. And my mom got mad at me because I was reading it when I wasn't supposed to be. She ripped it up and threw it away.
Oh.
And 261 issues. That's why it took him so long. For Justice League.
Wow.
And so there was this ad for another comic book in this. It was a Flash comic book, and there was this ad that I really liked, and I just spent. It was like my white whale. Every time I went anywhere there were comic books, I was looking for it. But this was before I understood Golden Age, Bronze Age, Silver Age, or anything.
Sure.
Then I meet Lasso, and I tell Lasso all about my comic book woes. This is Flash. He's like, I'm like, I remember the cover. I told him what the cover looked like. He comes back and he gives me the year and the issue number.
Okay.
My first New York Comic Con, I found it. Somebody's booth, and I found it. So I'm like, it was only $10. I'm like, that's it. I'm getting my childhood back. $10, mine. Sold.
Oh my God.
Flash forward an extra couple of years, and I used to work at this comic book convention that unfortunately never came back after COVID, but it was great. It was East Coast Comic Con, and it was a really great mix of celebrities and comic book. Celebrities, comic book. George Perez was supposed to be there. He got sick when he got off the plane, and they had to turn around.
Oh, damn.
So I came this close to meeting George Perez too. But the one guy that was there was this guy. What's his name, Ryan? Ian? It was Ian.
He was a comic artist?
Something. He inked it. He inked my Flash comic.
Oh.
And I got him to sign it.
That's cool.
That was probably, it was very cool. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, I even told him, like, you have no idea what I went through to get this. But here, please sign it.
I mean, there's something to be said about just loving the comic itself, but actually loving the artists, the people who.
Yes.
Because as a kid, as an adult, I'm thinking as a kid, the last thing you would even give a damn about is who inked it, who drew it. All you cared about was, hey, the newest issue of Fantastic Four is coming out. Let's go. But I remember it. The writers and the artists were such an instrumental part of that experience. And John Byrne, there were two types of art that John Byrne had that I loved. And you saw it in the Fantastic Four. His earlier drawings where everybody was like muscled up and da-da-da. You could see every detail in the uniforms. And then he switched things up and made things even more like realistic, where you would see the Fantastic Four in their uniforms, but they weren't necessarily fully muscled up. It was almost like you were wearing a shirt. And while you still may have had muscles, it wasn't like, you can see the pecs, you can see the six pack, you can see the It was like, I'm still muscled up, but I'm wearing a form-fitting shirt and a form-fitting uniform that and I always remember appreciating that, because I was like, oh, this is different. This is still Byrne, but he's still killing like stuff like that. And then George in his artistry. Oh man.
Right. Yeah, I didn't get into comic book artistry until fairly recently. Because again, I have another friend that he's one of my oldest friends. I've known him since I was in high school, and we used to go to Wizard World together, Wizard World Philly, and we would go around to all the comic book booths. So Greg Horn is probably one of my favorite artists.
Greg Horn, okay.
Yeah, he's freelances. He doesn't do like a specific, but you should definitely look him up. He does some absolutely gorgeous work.
I don't remember. Okay.
Yeah, and let me see if I can find the one picture that I have that I absolutely love, and I'm sure I have it on my computer somewhere. But
Greg Horn. Okay.
I'll show you my favorite Greg Horn picture. I always call it Night at the Movies, but that is not what it is. But that usually, if I Google that, that's usually what it brings up for me.
That's like the main, like I guess the thing that is associated with them, or.
Yeah, well, this particular picture, let me see. Wait, I found it. Let me see if I can get it to go big. Come on. Oh, well, if it blows up, I'll show you. But yeah, Greg Horn is just amazing.
Yeah.
He's he's one of my favorite artists, but like I said, he doesn't. Lasso knows who he is too. But the other guy that I met is, I can't remember if he was an artist for. Can't remember if he was an. artist for Stranger Things, or he wrote Stranger Things. But I met this one really cool Brit that did Stranger Things. Okay.
Wait, the comic or you?
Yeah, the comic. The comic the show's based on. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Let me see if I can do this. Hold on. Oh, okay. There it goes. All right. This isn't going to be great, but it should work. Let me see. Okay, it's this. Let me see if I can blow this. I don't know. Like, I enable.
You know, just looking at it from there, I can already tell the artwork. I know what you're about.
Yeah. Oh, come on. All right. Let me see. Oh, why am I doing that? Okay. So it's this over here, but it's got Christopher Reeve. It's got the original Hulk from like the really bad Hulk movies. It's got Hugh Jackman. It's got Michael Keaton's Batman. I don't think you can see it, but there's a teeny tiny little orange beak behind the Hulks for Howard the Duck. Nice. It's such Irv Novick. Oh, it wasn't Ian, it was Irv. Okay, Irv Novick inked my comic. Thank you, Lasso. Elektra's in the back. Elektra and Daredevil are in the back, but yeah, they're all at a movie theater. Oh yeah, and Doc Octopus is floating around. His arm, yeah. But yeah, his Christopher Reeve is what had me loving this picture.
I love the fact that DC at one point was making Superman comics with Christopher Reeve's image.
Yeah, those I have. Ooh.
Yeah, they did it for a minute. Like, they really.
Yeah. It was like, hold on, let me see. It was like 77. Yeah, they did it. Yeah, I think it was this. Hold on. Sharing multiple. That's not what I wanted to do. Sorry, I'm playing with my restream.
Where you're trying to get
this to go away. Yeah, okay. Let me see. Oh wait, there we go. Bam. There we go. Okay, bam, done. But yeah, they did. It was. I think. The Superman comics that they just did with Christopher Reeve, I think was one of the old Superman movie scripts that never got made. There was that Nicolas Cage storyline that thank God never happened. It was one of those stories that I think is what they used for that comic.
That movie was made though, wasn't it?
No, it got as far as putting him in the costume. But they never made, and there's some they never made it. Thank God. He would have been a terrible Superman with the long hair and everything.
Yeah, that was weird.
Look it up. You can. Yeah, I mean, to really get a sense of it, if you watch the Flash standalone DC movie, and did you watch it?
Yeah, I saw
it. Yeah, you see him in there if you're looking for him, and it's just like, no, thank God they never made that movie.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. I went to see it in the theater only because I wanted to see the Christopher Reeve cameo.
Well, I was so disappointed in that because I know the Flashpoint storyline, which I thought was a great storyline, and they messed it up. I'm just like, they could have done so much with that. And I love seeing Michael Keaton come back. Loved it. I was here for it.
Yep.
But I even love the Sasha Calle Supergirl. I like that. But I wanted a lot of the elements of what that storyline was all about. And I felt like they just messed up with so much. And even the George Clooney cameo at the end. All right, that was whatever.
That was kind of funny. That I kind of like that. Yeah, that was a surprise. I didn't see that coming, but honestly, the only the big reason that I didn't, and again, knowing everything that actor, like the type of person that actor is, you're like, oh, don't go support it, don't spend the money. Yeah. But they were a great Flash. Like, you can't take that away from them. I thought he was a fantastic Flash.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I think if things had been different, I actually like him better than Grant. There's something about their portrayal. Yeah, I keep messing up my pronouns. Something about their portrayal that I liked better than Grant's.
See, I thought no, and I hear you. I feel like Grant was the man when it came to Flash. And even I mean, look, even when I first saw that he was being picked for it, I was still kind of like, don't know.
The kid from Glee, what are we doing? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what they doing. Let's see what they about to do.
Yeah. But then again, everybody, yeah. But then again, a lot of people thought that about Michael Keaton, too, and he pulled Batman off pretty well. So
I would have never thought to cast him as Bruce Wayne. Last person I wouldn't even have him on the short list. He wouldn't even been on the short list. Because I remember when I was like, Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne, and I love Michael Keaton. Yep. He's funny as fuck. Mr. Mom is like still one of my funniest, one of my favorite movies. And just him in general, I've never seen him as a dramatic actor. And even before Batman, he's done a couple of dramatic things, but Bruce Wayne?
Well, I don't know if you've ever heard it. Wally Wingert did this fantastic song when they announced that Batman movie and they announced Michael Keaton. He did a song called Adam West, which you can find on YouTube. And if you want, I'll send you a link. And there's actually a line in there about, will Bat fans care that Batman is actually Mr. Mom? Is one of the lines in the song.
I gotta hear that. I love that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I have a friend that actually knows Wally Wingert. She put me on the phone with him.
Oh, really?
When I was hanging, I went to Trek Long Island, and I don't even remember how his name came up, but she and I were talking about, wait, Wally Wingert? I'm like, Wally Wingert isn't the guy that did Adam West and worked with Seth MacFarlane and all this other stuff. And she goes, yeah, I know him. She called him for me. And I'm like, hi. I'm like, you're awesome because of that song. I know you because of that song. He's like, are you serious? I said, yeah. I said, I've seen your name on other things. I've seen it on Family Guy. I know you work with it. But no, I know your name from the Adam West song, which I absolutely love. We had a whole conversation. He was very surprised because that song's always stuck with me. And there is a video on YouTube and it's awesome.
And then, of course, his name alone is very DC Comics. Wally Wingert. It's like
yeah, that is very DC. You're right. We have been chatting for about 45 minutes and have not talked about Star Trek or the Orville.
Let's talk
in the comic book form.
Let's go.
So, all right. So you did Star Trek Renegades, which was a fan film.
I did Star Trek Renegades. I played Boros, a Siphon warrior, a whole new race in the Star Trek, community, as it were, and prostheticed out and looking like a badass.
What was it like to work on a fan film? I mean, you're a professional actor. You've worked on a lot. But what was it like to work on a?
So it was cool in the sense that it was so cool that I personally reclassified what that particular production was. I personally don't call it a fan film. What I call it is an independent Star Trek production. Even though we all know it has no affiliation with, Paramount and Roddenberry and the powers that be there. What to me made it so much different from the rest is the fact that when you watch that series, when you watch what we did, the who's who in sci-fi is so prominent in Star Trek Renegades. You got people from Star Trek, you got Sean Young from Blade Runner, you got Edward Furlong from Terminator, you got so many people reprising their roles from Star Trek and even playing new characters. It was a hell of a you got oh my God, you got people from so many different franchises. Herbert Jefferson Jr. from the original Battlestar Galactica was in it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was in it. I mean, and we're good friends to this day. I see them at cons and when I'm signing and stuff like that. I'm going to be at WonderCon this weekend. If anybody's in California, come to WonderCon. See me.
Oh my God. I am actually wearing one of my California t-shirts. I would love to get back out to the West Coast.
And it's hot as hell out here. You guys will love it. All right. But back to that. No, it was great. It was great. Tim Russ is so awesome, so amazing. He is the reason why I'm in that, because I reached out to him, being such a huge Star Trek fan and wanting to be a part of Star Trek in whatever way I could. I wanted to be a part of this, and I lobbied hard for it. I sent Tim my stuff. I really wanted to be a part of it. And so, long story short on that, he cast me. He cast me as Boros, one of the main villains in it. And the rest is history as far as like my relationship with Tim, working with Tim in future projects, working in sci-fi in many future projects. I believe it also helped with my role on the Orville and so many other different sci-fi pieces, and just my relationship with people at Comic Cons and just growing that alone has become an amazing experience. And being a fan myself of all things sci-fi, fantasy, things like that,
Right.
it really, it's kind of like it's the best of both worlds. I'm still a fan, but I'm also in the thing that I'm a fan of, and I love
Right.
that.
Okay.
Love that.
So, I just want to address something that all I'm saying right here. It is not Paramount being jerks. I am going to say that right now. Paramount, they're jerks about a lot of things. They're not jerks about fan films. They were letting fan films be. Things like Renegades were going out there, and Paramount was leaving them alone until Axanar. Axanar raised $1 million excuse me, on the back of licensed material they had no right to do. That's when Paramount bells went off. And they're like, listen, we have let this fan thing go. We get it. But no, you do not get to raise that kind of money on things that you never licensed from us. And that's when they shut everything down. The fact that they're still allowing fan films to be made. Now, granted, it sucks. They can only be 15 minutes long, and it can't be like a to be continued. It has to be 15 minutes. Single stories have to be 15 minutes long. But it is not Paramount's fault in this case. They had to draw that line because they can't have people raising that kind of money to do unlicensed projects. That's just not cool. So basically, it's not anybody's fault but Axanar's. If Alec Peters had just left well enough alone and enjoyed doing what he could do without going public and raising that kind of money, everybody would still be able to make fan films. Maybe, maybe not. I shouldn't say that. It's entirely possible the fan film thing could have come crashing down now that Paramount is doing this merger and everything else. But at the time, everything was going along smoothly until Axanar did that GoFundMe and raised all that money.
It was a great time. Yeah. And speaking on just fan films in general, it was a great time when a lot of those projects were being made, because at the time there wasn't Star Trek happening.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I think that's probably why Paramount let it go, because they're like, oh, well, you guys go do this, keep it alive. We don't have to do anything. Yeah, keep the Star Trek thing alive, and when we're ready to come out, So I think Paramount found it to be a win-win as far as just keeping Star Trek fresh for people, so that when they did decide to do new projects, everybody would be even more excited because now there's, even other stuff. So yeah, I think it was a win-win, and I think, like I said, I think Paramount didn't care until somebody tried to make that kind of bank off of what they shouldn't have been doing, Yeah, because Star Trek Continues had all those amazing episodes.
Yeah, and that's the thing, it's like you have all of this wonderful advertisement for a franchise that at the time was, I think, about to be 50 years old, and so it was keeping it alive. And honestly, Paramount, they silently gave blessings to a lot of what we were doing, especially when it came to seeing that a lot of the actors from the franchise itself were being a part of it, which is why what we did with like Renegades was so special, because we had Robert Picardo reprising his role as the Doctor. We had Tim Russ not only directing it, but also reprising his role as Tuvok. You know what I mean? We had people from the franchise itself involved. Even before Renegades, it was Of Gods and Men. And think of Walter Koenig, who was the star of Star Trek Renegades, who reprised his role as Chekhov in the 24th century. Because as we knew from Dr. McCoy, humans lived a lot longer, so it was understandable that he would still, potentially be around. even past that. So you had a lot of Gods and Men had a ton of people from Trek also. So it was a great time to have something over nothing at the time and actually have people from the franchise alone involved.
Yeah, because there was a lot of quality work. I did a show, I don't know, might have even been my first season of doing it on YouTube, where I watched all the fan films. And rated them and talked about them. And I watched a couple episodes of Continues, and and they got the original actor that played Apollo. They had him come back in Star Trek Continues to do a second, to do like a follow up. And it was a really good episode. They did like this follow up episode. Renegades was great. Yeah. So like I said, it's just it's unfortunate what happened, because there was a lot of quality stuff out there that the fans were doing. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And
Orville.
Orville. Always want to talk about Orville. Always want to talk about Orville.
I'm hoping to be timekeeper here. Orville.
No, Orville, go. You are a Mocklin doctor, like I said, in one of the most poignant storylines that show came up with.
Yeah.
About gender identity.
Yes.
And then freaking Dolly Parton come in and be a hologram. I mean, I love Seth. I love Seth. Meeting Seth MacFarlane is on my bucket list.
It was so cool working with him. It's like coming into the Orville. I felt so blessed as an actor, but also as a fan. But I also felt like, this is something that could last 50-something years, like Star Trek can. And guess what? I'm coming in on the ground floor being one of the first representatives of a new alien race. And I'm comparing this to like Leonard Nimoy, when he was basically the first Vulcan and the first person to really lay it down what a Vulcan is all about and that history and that culture. And so being one of the first Mocklins, I felt really proud to be one of the first people to help put that, lay some of that foundation down. Like,
put the species on the map. Yeah.
Species on the map. And Peter Macon, is killing it, as Bortus. And it's just like, he's in the same boat. And these are and whoever else has played Mocklins throughout the series. And I believe we will be getting a 4th series. So there's hopefully potentially more to come with.
You think? Because a lot of people are saying that it's not happening. I would love to see it happen. It needs to happen.
Yeah,
needs to happen.
I believe it's going to happen.
I've become friendly with some of the stars from it. Peter's a friend. I love Peter.
Yeah, Peter's great.
Yeah, and Adrian Palacki, I think that's how she says her last name. She's fantastic, and we've had conversations, and I would love to see that entire cast.
Jay Lee,
come back. Oh my God, Jay Lee! Oh my, I have a Jay Lee. I was at Shore Leave last year, and I was with Tracy Coco, and they originally had Adrian and Scott Grimes. Okay. And I was really excited. I hadn't met Scott. I met everybody else in Vegas. Scott I didn't meet in Vegas because Creation had him doing the gala. So I met everybody else in Vegas. And then Scott had to cancel, and they brought in Jay Lee, who again I had met. Peter ended up inviting me to have dinner with the cast while we were out in Vegas.
Cool. So
I'm like, Jay Lee, I was so excited to see him. We were chatting, and Tracy and I one night we were going to go over to Texas Roadhouse for dinner. And I'm like, Jay Lee, you got to come. We're doing the steak thing. You got to come. And Jay Lee's like, yeah, message me. So I'm like, I hit him up. I'm like, we're on Texas Roadhouse. No show. Next morning, I'm like, where were you, dude? I messaged you. You said, message you. I messaged you. He's like, I was at Longhorn. Where were you? We told you. There was a Longhorn Steakhouse at a Texas Roadhouse right across the street from each other.
One steakhouse. You had one job.
One steakhouse, dude. Red, you had one job. Read the freaking text that says Texas Roadhouse, and then
I'm sure all steakhouses in Vegas look alike.
Well, this was in Lancaster. We were at Shore Leave, which is in Lancaster. So
okay. What did I think? Okay.
Yeah, no, we met in Vegas, but this was last year at Shore Leave, which is in Lancaster. Sorry for the confusion.
Got it.
Okay. But Jay Lee is so stinking talented. He's a musician. On top of everything else, he's a musician.
Yeah. Yeah.
Killer pianist.
And a director and a writer also.
Okay, yeah, no, Jay Lee's killing it. He's great. Annie's a sweetheart. Adrian's an absolute sweetheart. She doesn't even live in LA. She lives like a nice little quiet life somewhere, which I think is very cool.
I mean,
yeah,
to get out of
and Peter, Peter's over here in Atlanta. He lives in Georgia, so
yeah.
But Peter Macon, he's an artist. He does watercolors. Jay and Scott are musicians. Jay Lee and Scott are musicians. I mean, Seth MacFarlane is like everything. He's such a Renaissance man.
Musician.
He really is.
Yeah. Sinatra.
He is. See, this I've always said. Like I can't stand Michael Bublé. I feel like he's a poser. I feel like he wants to be a crooner, and that's what he wants. And I'm like, no. You think you are, but then when you listen to Seth MacFarlane, that's a crooner. That is Rat Pack level crooning when you listen to Seth sing.
You're not feeling Bublé. You don't feel like Bublé and Seth could form like a new Rat Pack. Maybe get I don't know.
Nope.
No.
Bublé can go do his commercials for that drink that sounds the same as his name. But no, there's something just off about Michael's voice. But Seth wrote Ted 2, Mean Old Moon.
Oh yeah.
Song. He wrote that. It sounded like something that got pulled right out of the 50s, and Seth wrote it.
He's killing it. I'm telling you, he's killing it.
Yeah. He also does the only version of Baby It's Cold Outside besides Dean Martin that I'll listen to.
I love so many versions of that song. I want to record it. I'm going to record it probably this year.
I'll do it with you. I can do the girl part. I can sing. You need to come to karaoke. You'll hear me. I can sing.
We should debut it there. That would be fun.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Klingon karaoke. Enterprise karaoke. I have to sing the theme to Enterprise. But if you want to do Klingon karaoke, I have an in with the hosts. I'll see about getting us up on stage. We could do
Baby It's Cold Outside in the summer when like last year it was like a heat wave. It's Vegas in the summer, so it's
Vegas in the summer.
Right.
Yeah, but that would just be the irony would be fun.
This is true.
The irony of it would be fun.
You know what?
It would be fun.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Sing your theme song. All right. We're doing Baby It's Cold Outside.
And I'm doing Baby It's Cold Outside for the next night. Yeah, because they've already named Anthony Montgomery and JG and Bob are hosting karaoke the second night. So yeah, let's do it.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's on.
That'll be fun. It'll be on. So that's going to be me 2 nights at karaoke, Enterprise Karaoke, doing Where My Heart Will Take Me, and then catch me which is Friday night. Catch me the following night with Rico Anderson doing Baby It's Cold Outside.
Baby It's Cold.
Baby It's Cold Outside. My grandfather met Sammy Davis Jr. The Rat Pack has a very special place in my heart.
Nice. He's someone I would have met and spend time just to him, and bending his ear about life back then and just time with the Rat Pack, and oh my God, that would have been great.
And what it was like, and what it was like to be him.
Yeah.
An African American Jew that's a lot. That's a lot.
In that world.
Yeah, but you know what? When you got Frank, you know the story about how when he lost his eye, the hospital wouldn't admit him because it was for whites only.
Yeah.
Until Frank stepped in and saved his life and said, I don't think so. Yeah. Frank's like, I'm not putting up with this shit.
Well, Frank was an ally. Within the Black community and was very instrumental towards a lot of things happening, especially when Sammy was playing with them. Because of just even the rule of not even being able to walk through the front door.
Yes, he used to have to walk through the kitchen. Yeah.
Frank was shutting that Monroe too. If her and Ella Fitzgerald were good friends. Who knew?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Yeah, stories out of that. Yeah, there was a really good I actually do watch PBS on occasion, but there was a really good documentary about Sammy's life.
Yeah.
On he was in the hospital after his eye, and the only clergy was a rabbi, and that's when he decided to convert. when he realized the parallel. When he realized the parallels between his culture and the Jewish culture, and that's what made him want to convert.
I never knew that story. I never knew why what made him want to.
That's why.
Interesting.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. The only clergy in the hospital at the time was a rabbi, and of course, he administered to whomever, and yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't know that either until I watched that documentary.
The more you know. Well, PBS, come on.
The more you know. That NBC rainbow. But all right. Well, let's see. We've covered comic books for 45 minutes, Star Trek and the Orville, and we made it all fit into like an hour and 5. Well, just under an hour because I was yapping before you came out. Old Blue Eyes, huge Frank fan, huge Rat Pack, huge Frank fan.
Oh yeah.
He used to play at a club not far from where I live right now. The club's gone, but back in the day, there was a place called the Latin Casino, which is maybe 25 minutes. It used to be like 25 minutes from where I live right now. That like the entire Rat Pack used to pop in on occasion. And then, real quick story. I have to tell this Rat Pack story. When I was in Palm Springs a couple years ago after the Hollywood show, I went to Palm Springs, and I ended up staying at the hotel. And they had the purple velvet room. Okay. And the Rat Pack used to play there all the time. And they have a Rat Pack night every week. So I got to.
That's cool.
Go to that. It was very cool. It's only 2 hours from you? I mean, Palm Springs isn't that far from where you're at.
That's not far at all. No.
Yeah, right down the 10. I loved that drive. That was a nice drive. It was an easy drive.
It's a long drive. It's not horrible, but it's just like.
No, and there's an In-N-Out burger on the way, so.
Then you're good. What's the problem? What's the problem?
No problem. We're doing In-N-Out again too while we're in Vegas. We got to do another In-N-Out run. And
because In-N-Out's not national, so to you non-Californians and I guess Vegas
West Coastins,
West Coastins, In-N-Out is like the staple, one of the stop-offs. You know.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Ella. Incredible talent.
Yeah.
Ella. Well, let me ask you. Okay, we're going to end on a fun note. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever heard of a restaurant chain called Egg Sluts?
Yes.
They're putting one in the Rio.
Are they?
Yep.
First of all, the name alone is hilarious.
Exactly. I'm so excited just by the name.
They're going to do well. Or if they're not already open, they're doing well. But yeah, they're that's smart. They're going to do very well. Well,
yeah, because it's going to be breakfast grab and go. They're going to be really busy.
Right.
Because there's no really I mean, Starbucks is good, but their breakfast selection is limited. I would go get a coffee and then head over to the Sluts and get a sandwich and then go down to the floor. That would be me. That would be my perfect morning because those sandwiches look amazing.
Grab a coffee, then go slut it up and then Star Trek. There you go.
Well, yeah, exactly. Because you're in Vegas. So you got to slut it up when you're in Vegas.
Slut it up. Yeah. That should be their part of their advertisement. We're Egg Slut. You're in Vegas. Any questions?
Oh my gosh!
Any questions?
War Dog. No questions. War Dog. I just got back from hiding all the wheat thins. Been a bit too long since I saw from the Blue Sky. Yes, War Dog. It has been too long. Too long. It is so good to see you. War Dog's been a loyal fan, and I haven't seen him in forever.
Oh yeah,
good to see him.
No, he's
Don't
awesome.
egg shame me.
The wheat thins comment is from Ryan Husk. He's associated me with wheat thins whenever whenever I'm in the live chat for his for the Seventh Rule or any Star Trek.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so shout out to the wheat thins.
All right. Well, he's got War Dog's own Cigar Express TLV. Well, you'll be able to find Rico. Get this. We're splitting my table time. Rico's going to be at my table for the first 2 days.
Yeah.
That is the plan. So if you want to drop off the cigars at my table, War Dog, I am hopefully going to be in the same place I was last year.
Yeah.
and the year before, which is like my favorite little corner because Melissa Longo is going to be right around the corner for me. She already put in for her booth. Hoping if Land of the Lost is coming out, it's going to be me, Land of the Lost, and Melissa. It's like the perfect little corner.
You think it's going to still be the same lineup? Do they usually try to do the same lineup?
Well, what I found out is like the gold tickets, like when STLV wraps on Sunday, if you are a gold ticket holder, you can actually purchase your tickets for the following year at the same price so you can keep your seats. It's like you have no idea who's going to be there, but you can keep your seats by purchasing them on Sunday. Well, okay. It turns out that vendors get that same consideration. If you buy your booth the Sunday of the current convention for the following year, they'll give you your space back.
I never knew. That's
interesting. I didn't know that between the first and second year, I had no idea. But I don't know. I knew Letitia, and of course I know Ryan, and last year was like the transitional year between Letitia, and I'm like, I really want my spot back. Nobody had answered me. I'm like, I really want my spot back. I love my little spot. I know I didn't get my booth until later, but I love my little spot if it's at all possible.
Yeah.
And my birthday last year was the day that Ryan released the floor map.
Okay.
And I had my spot.
It's a great spot.
So,
you got a nice chunk of real estate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And so I got really lucky. So then this year, then last year, Ed Milner, who is a fan of the show and one of my amazing supporters, got me my booth.
Ed Milner.
So Ed Milner got me my booth on Sunday.
Okay.
So that should guarantee the space because they actually ask you where you are. You're like, I'm at 165, and yes, I want it, or 144 or whatever number I was last year. But yeah. Yes, War Dog is absolutely right. Hopefully the Sci-Fi Sisters will be opposite us. It is. It's like the best corner. It is like the best corner.
Yeah. No, they have some great real estate too.
Yeah, well, and hopefully, I'm hoping John Billingsley will be across from me again because that was a lot of fun having John right on the other side of the aisle. Yeah, but it was. Yeah, we had some. It was a short walk. We could go past John, JG, Bob O'Reilly. It was a short walk to go bother all my the other Enterprise people because Connor, Dominic, and Anthony are always on that opposite side on that one aisle over. That's like their spot.
And across from us, it is New Worlds also.
Yeah.
See it, all the Strange New Worlds, and I think Lower Decks jumped in there for a little bit too. So
yeah, with Starfleet Academy, who knows who we're going to be across from this year?
That's true. Well, if it's the same format, that might be Starfleet Academy. That might be that. Who knows?
Some new friends.
Yeah,
we can make new friends.
Hey, let's do it.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm going to be there handing out my peppermints again because everybody seems to love my peppermints.
It's a good staple.
It is. Well, it is because, like I said, it's like you feel like, you're talking all day, you're drinking coffee, you want to pop, you want something nice to, cleanse your palate.
It's a cool feeling. You get a cool feeling from
it. It is. Ernesto, what's his name from Galaxy? I suck with his last name. Said it reminded him of Christmas.
Yeah. It has a refreshing, cool, crisp feeling. Also reminds me
of it's red and white.
It's what? Red and white, yeah.
Yeah.
It also has a grandparenty thing to it too,
Vibe. Oh, well, thanks. Yeah, but no, if I was going to be my grandmother, I'd be handing out lifesavers. My grandmother always kept lifesavers.
Oh, she did lifesavers? Okay.
She did. My grandmother always did lifesavers. But all right, guys. Rico, thank you. This was literally the third time we've tried to do this, so I'm really excited that you were here.
Hey.
Found out something new. Found out that you're a comic book fan, which I love.
Huge fan.
You should totally follow Magic Lasso on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because he has some really great content. All comic book related. It's fantastic. And in fact, I'm hoping he and I and his friend Signature King can work out a time. There was a Star Trek Green Lantern crossover.
I remember that
comic. Okay, well, the three of us, he's got a show every Sunday called Fanboys Live. Ryan, finish the rest of it. Because I know there's more to it, but they literally just kind of read the comic, like they read the comic and talk about it.
I love that. Oh my God. Okay.
And and I was on. They have a guest every week.
Okay.
They have a guest every week. So the one week I got to be the guest reader. So we did the first 3 of a 6-volume.
Oh my God.
So I told them, I'm like, we've got to do 4, 5, and 6 on my show, because they usually don't do that. So we're trying to
crossover.
Get that out. Yes, a crossover of a crossover.
Doing a crossover. Magic Lasso.
Okay, so
you too. Nice to meet everybody. This was so awesome. Thank you everybody who tuned in and chimed in. And
it's Fanboys Live in the Retro Review. It is on Magic Lasso's channel. It's Sunday nights at 8 Eastern, if I'm getting that right. Again, Lasso will correct me. But yeah, that's what it is. It was so much fun, and hopefully we'll be able to get the 3 of us together, and we'll do the other volumes here.
That would be great. I would love to. I would love to.
I was just gonna. So there you go. Totally invited to do his show.
Magic Lasso. Thank you. I will be in touch.
I can hook that up.
Hey.
Yes. One Love Chat Pack 2.0. Absolutely, War Dog. Thank you for showing. I was wondering where you've been, so it was so good to see you. Dave's absolutely right. Thank you, everybody. Follow Rico on the socials. Oh, see, this is why I love Dave. This is why I let Dave hang around. Yeah. You can visit the shop for cool things like my NX7062 hat. There's mugs, there's water bottles, there's very cool t-shirts. punkarmy.net. How much do I love punkarmy.net and Raymond Litster, who works so hard for Chase and Pop Culture Hero Coalition, and his company Punk Army does amazing work. So, and the t-shirts are like excellent quality. They're so soft and comfy.
Nice.
I love his t-shirts. So yes, please, if you're going to support the show, please do check out the merch store and pick up some merch. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you to Rico. We'll find out about next week as soon as I know. Then you'll all know what we're doing for next week. But guys, thank you so much as always. And until I see